today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to create a WordPress website from scratch. Together, we're going to be making a photography blog from start to finish, and along the way, you're going to be learning all of the WordPress basics. We're going to be covering how to set up a domain and hosting, how to install WordPress, how to add themes, plugins, pages, posts, how to customize everything, and much, much more. And by the end of this video, you're going to be a WordPress master. Now, if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit that like button down below. And with that being said, let's get started. So quickly, I just want to go over what WordPress is. WordPress is a free and open source content management system, and over 40% of websites on the internet use WordPress, which is why we're going to be using it. What's great about WordPress is that it's like super versatile, and because there's so many people building different themes and plugins, you can truly make any kind of site you want with WordPress, and it's very easy to manage all of your content. So whether you're making a blog or an e-commerce store, WordPress makes it very, very easy. And we're going to be making a blog in this tutorial, but with the fundamentals that you learn, you can still make any type of website. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be creating a photography blog for a photographer who does not exist. And I have all of the files that I'll be linking down below for download, and you can get them on my website for free. Now, with this, you can also follow along and create the exact same website that I'm going to be making. But if you want to create your own website, you can still follow these steps and use your own files as well. It's totally up to you. And so with that being said, let's get right into getting our domain and hosting. Now, every single website on the internet uses a domain and hosting. A domain is essentially the address the website uses. So for example, youtube.com, and hosting is essentially the servers that host the website as well as all of the associated files. So no matter what kind of website you're making, you're going to need a domain and hosting. Unless you want a really sketchy domain and really insecure hosting, you usually have to pay a little bit for it. And in this case, we're going to be using Hostinger for the domain and the hosting. Now, with Hostinger, the hosting is going to be a few dollars a month, and you also get a free domain and included SSL. I really like Hostinger because they're very secure, have a lot of uptime, and are really easy to use with WordPress, and it's super cheap. So I'll link Hostinger down below, and all you want to do is click on Get Started, and we're going to be creating a website for myself. We don't plan on selling anything, and we can just say that we have no experience. Now I'm going to be using the premium shared hosting. So it's $2 a month, and it also includes the free domain. And so once I go through everything here, I can just click add to cart, and I'm going to choose the duration. Now I'm going to just register for 12 months because you save a lot of money if you just subscribe to the 12 months. You save even more money if you subscribe for a longer time. But unless you know for certain you're going to have a website you're using for 2 to 4 years, you can just opt for the 12-month option. And then we're going to create our account and go through the payment process. Now, I also want to quickly mention that you don't have to use Hostinger for your domain and hosting. You can also use other providers if you're familiar with them. Now, with Hostinger, everything comes out to $31, and this is for 1 year of hosting, as well as a domain name, which usually costs $15 to $20 a year. So this is a great deal. And they've been nice enough to provide me with a coupon code. So if you use the code Ziovo, you'll also get another 10% off your final purchase price. So we're going to go ahead and submit and secure this payment, and it will take us to the Hostinger dashboard. So now we're going to set up our domain, hosting, as well as install WordPress. Now, if you bought your domain from somewhere else, or you already have a domain and you want to use it with Hostinger, I'll link down below a tutorial on how you can connect your domain with Hostinger. And if you're using a different host that's not Hostinger for your entire website, you should also be able to find relevant tutorials on how you can install WordPress. Usually there's an auto installer, but I'll be showing you how you can do it through Hostinger. So the first thing we're going to do is just set up our hosting. So we have to go ahead and just click on setup over here, and we're going to click start now. And we're going to say that we're creating a website for ourselves. It's going to be a blog, and we can say we have experience in creating websites, and it's going to help us select a platform. And so we're going to select WordPress. Another place you can also do this, which we'll be covering later, is going to be in the auto installer. So I'm just going to quickly go back like so. And before we install WordPress, we're just going to claim our domain. So I'm going to click on claim domain, and we're going to call our website shuttertips.com. And I'm going to claim this domain, and it's been claimed for free. And now we can click on start registration. And so for the primary details, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the setup process here. So we're from Canada. This is a personal website, and I'm just going to enter my contact details and then click on finish registration. So once we filled out our information, we can see that the status of our domain is now active. The email verification status is pending, but that's because they're going to send me an email in a few hours where I can verify my information, and then my email will also be verified. But now the next step is to connect our hosting as well as install WordPress. So we're going to go into hosting and click on setup. And here we're going to go through the process again. So I'm making a website for myself. It's a blog and I have some experience, and it's going to once again prompt me to download WordPress. Now, if you're making an e-commerce store, you can also do WordPress plus WooCommerce, but we're not covering WooCommerce in this tutorial since we're making a blog. So all we want to do is select WordPress. And here we want to create our WordPress account, which we're going to be using to log into WordPress and our website. So we're going to select a password, click continue. And here you can choose from a bunch of different themes that WordPress comes with. Now we're going to be covering themes later and be using a different theme. So we're not going to be using any of these. Instead, what we want to do is click on skip, and then we're going to choose a domain. So we already have our free domain that we're going to be using. And if you have an existing domain, you can also connect it here. We're going to keep our domain, click select, and then finally click on finish setup. And now WordPress is going to be installed and uploaded to our host, and it's going to be connected to our domain, and everything is going to be ready to go very, very soon. So once our website is ready, we're going to see this page over here, and we have two options. We can go into the control panel, which is the H panel, and here we can edit our site. And we can do things such as change the password, edit our domains and emails, but we're going to dive straight into WordPress. So we're going to go ahead and click on Manage WordPress. And over here, we're going to click on Edit Website, and it's going to take us to the WordPress dashboard. Now, another way you can get onto this page is just by clicking on the top over here, typing in your domain, and then after your domain, do /wp-admin. No matter your domain name, typing this will take you to the WordPress dashboard for your website. Now, the first thing you want to do is just make sure everything is up to date. So you want to go ahead and go to updates over here. And as you can see, we have a 1. So we're just going to check again to make sure we have the latest version. And everything seems to be up to date. The only thing that isn't up to date is this plugin, which we don't need. And so now I'm going to quickly walk you through the interface. Now, there is a lot here, but we're going to be covering most of it later. But the first thing you want to know about is your domain over here. And you can just click on visit site to visit your website. And right now there's nothing here because we haven't set it up. Now, below that, you're also going to see a place where you can make your posts, which are blog posts. You can also make them over here. Next up, we have the media tab, and this is where you can add all of your files. And if you're adding files and images later on, they'll also show up here under your media. And so what we're going to actually do right now is just add all of our media because we have it all ready to go. And if you don't have it ready to go, that's also fine. So mine is in my downloads folder and it's right here. And we're going to upload everything over here like so and click on open just so our media is ready to go. And so everything is just going to upload. And while that's uploading, I'm going to walk you through the rest of the interface. So pages is where you can create different website pages, such as an about page or a contact form. Comments are managing your WordPress comments. Now, WordPress Forms is a plugin where you can create custom forms. Appearance is where we're going to be editing our themes. Then plugins is where we're going to be, of course, adding and editing our plugins. Now, users, we can go on as well because we're not going to be touching it later. But users basically lets you add different people that can log into your WordPress dashboard, and they can either make posts or they can actually edit the website. And to add a new user, all you have to do is click on Add New. And here you can, set all of their details as well as their role. And you can also edit your own user settings if you go to All Users and click Edit. Now, this is the user account that I created at the start that you guys saw, but I can also edit the features here. Tools, you can do things such as export data from your website or import different types of data. We're probably not going to be touching tools. And then finally, we're going to go into settings. Now within settings, here in the general settings, what you can do is set your site title and tagline. So your site title is what appears at the top over here. And if I just type in photoblog, you guys will get a better idea. So this is the title right here, and this is the tagline. So we can just set that over here. So for example, the site title can be Shutter Tips Blog, and the tagline can be the best photography blog out there. Perfect. And we're going to keep everything else here the same. You can of course change the date and time format if you want. And then we're going to click on Save Changes. Now, one more change that we're going to make over here is we're also going to go ahead and change our permalink. So we're going to go ahead and click on permalinks. And permalinks are essentially the part of the domain after the main part. So for example, if we go over here and go into the hosting your website, if we click on emails, we can see that the domain stays the same, but the permalink is /emails for the email page. And you can change how that is set up for your website. So we're going to go ahead and just choose post name because it's the cleanest, like so. But you can of course choose whatever permalink format you want. And then we're going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. Next up, we're going to add a plugin to our WordPress website. Now you can add plugins whenever you want, but we're going to do it before we start building. So we're going to go into Plugins, and then we're going to go to Add New, and we're going to be adding a plugin called Elementor. I believe that's what it's called. Yes, it's right here. And what Elementor allows us to do is it connects with the theme that we're using, and it makes it a lot easier to customize our website. Now we can still make websites through the WordPress customization settings, which I'll also be showing you. But with Elementor, you can easily just click on parts of the website and then edit them. So it'll save us a lot of time. Now to install a plugin, all you have to do is click on Install Now, and it's going to install. And as you can see, it's currently installing. Once your plugin is installed, you still have to activate it. So what we can do is we can go ahead and press the activate button here, or you can go into your installed plugins to see all of them. And we can also activate it within the plugin page over here. So we're going to click on Elementor, and then we can just go to activate and click apply. Now, there's also a lot of default plugins that came with WordPress, and we don't want to use all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and just click on some of them, such as the all-in-one migration, which we don't need right now, or the Lightspeed cache. And we can also go ahead and deactivate those, or delete them if you want, but we're just going to deactivate them. And now that we have all the plugins we need, we're going to go ahead and add a theme. And to add a theme, you want to go into Appearance. And here you can see there's a few default WordPress themes, and we're not going to be using these ones. We're going to be adding a new theme. And the one we're going to be adding is going to be called Neve. And Neve is great because it's very simple and easy to use. It works with Elementor, it's free, and it also has a lot of different demo themes you can use. So demo themes are basically pre-built themes that make the process a lot easier. So here what we can do is we can click on Install, and this theme is going to install onto our WordPress dashboard. Now, once our theme is installed, we can activate it. So to activate it, all we have to do is go back into Appearance and then Themes, and then find the theme we want to activate, which is Neve. And we're going to go ahead and click on Activate. And as you can see, it's now been activated. Now what we can do is go ahead and set up a starter site, which is essentially that template I was talking about earlier. You can do this in Neve options, or once you install it, you'll have the option over here. So all you want to do is click on try one of our study to use starter sites. And we're going to be using a free one. Now, before we do that, we also have to install the Cloud Templates and Partners plugin. So let's go ahead and quickly install that as well. Pressing this button will do it automatically, and it should only take a few seconds. So once that's done, we can go ahead and look through all of the different starter sites that we can use for our website. Now I'm going to use one called Freelancer. So you can of course search for it and make sure you have Elementor selected. And once you do, you can click on Import. And then we're going to import everything for now. And we're going to import it to the entire site. And it's going to add this starter site to our WordPress, and it's going to make it essentially our theme, so we can go ahead and customize it and build around it. So once everything is installed, we can go ahead and start customizing our actual theme. So things such as the logo and the colors. And there's two ways we can do this. By default, what you can do is go into Appearance and Customize. And here you can go through each of the settings individually. So things such as the layout, the header, the footer, the colors, you can change these all individually. But with Neve, you can also use quick links to access everything really quickly. So all you want to do is go ahead and go into Appearance and then Neve Options. And here we can use the quick links just to change everything that's, the default. And this is basically a nice checklist as well. Now, of course, you can do this through the customized menu I showed earlier. This is just faster. So the first thing we're going to do is upload our logo. And to do this, all we have to do is click on it, and it's going to take us to the logo page. We're going to remove the current logo, and we're going to select the Shutter Tips logo, which should be in the files that I linked down below. we're going to click select, and we're going to click crop image. We're also going to just delete the site title that's up here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and make sure just the image is selected, and it's going to delete this title that was up here, but it's still going to keep the title for the actual search page. And then we're going to change the logo max width, and we're going to make it 200, like so. And that looks good to me. So the logo is set. Next, we're going to go ahead and select the site icon. And so for the site icon, we're also just going to use this camera icon, and we're going to click select, and we're going to click crop image. And this is the icon. Oh, I accidentally enabled Siri there. I don't know how, but now our site icon is loaded and we can see it up here where the tab is, which is the camera. And once all of this is good, we can go ahead and click on publish, and it's going to update it. Next, what we want to do is just exit, and we have our logo. So we're going to set our colors, and we're going to keep a more of a purple theme that matches the logo. So I'm going to go ahead and actually make the primary accent a darker purple, and then make the secondary accent a like medium gray, like so. And I think that looks good. And we're going to keep everything else the way it is. I like the way the hover is. The rest of the colors look good to me, but you can of course experiment and choose the ones that are best for you. And once again, I'm going to click on publish. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back, and we're going to keep the fonts the way they are, and we're going to go into our layout options. And for the layout, we're going to go ahead and just go to the homepage settings, and we're going to make the homepage a static page. But here, if you are a blogger and you wanted to have all of your blog posts show up, you can click on your latest posts, and you'll be able to just have it set up so it's all of your blog posts. But we're going to keep that the way it is as well. Similarly, we can also edit our header and our footer. So for example, if I wanted to edit the footer, I can go over here, and I can go ahead and do things such as change the footer color. So if I wasn't happy with it, I can go ahead and go to style. So here I can go ahead and I can change the color, and say I wanted to make it a dark gray or black. I can leave it like so, and it'll be good to go. And this applies to all components that you're editing through the WordPress customization tab. So for example, with the footer, you can change the layout, and then you can change the style. And what you can also do is you can view this website in different layouts. So right now we're looking in desktop mode, but we can also look at it in tablet mode, like so. And we can look at it in mobile mode, like so. But the footer looks good to me, so I'm going to click on publish. I'm pretty happy with the colors of this website, but of course you can customize everything that you want. And that's basically everything I want to edit. You can of course also edit your sidebars as well as your blog layouts. So for example, if we go into blog layouts, you can choose how blogs are on your website. So right now they're in cover form if we go into the actual post, but we can also make it list and grid, for example. But everything here looks good to me. And of course, if you wanted to change how your website looks or see how it looks on different devices, you can also click the button over here to see it on tablet and mobile view. So we're going to actually just change it to list mode, change this to desktop, and we're going to click on publish to save it. And now we're going to start editing the individual pages. So the first page we're going to edit is going to be the home page, and this is where we start to use Elementor. So to get to this page, all we have to do is go on our website, which is shuttertips.com. And as long as we're logged in, we're going to see this button at this bar at the top. So of course we can add pages, we can customize it like we were previously, but now what we're going to do is we're going to click on edit with Elementor. We're going to type in our password, we're going to click remember me, and we're going to log in. And now we have this editor to edit the actual contents of the website. So with Elementor, you can see all of the different elements over here on the left side. And if you want to edit a current element, all you have to do is click on it. For example, I can say, hi, we'll keep the name Jason Burrows. I am a photographer. And then here I can say something like, I am here to provide you with the best tips. And as we click on things we want to edit, the editor also shows up over here. And on the left side, what we can do is we can, of course, edit the content, but we can also edit things such as the style. So I wanted to change the color or the actual font or the alignment, I can do so here as well. And there's also different advanced settings, which we're going to be leaving alone for the most part. And so that's how you essentially edit with Elementor. So it makes things a lot easier. What's also great with Elementor is you can add different sections really easily. So if I wanted to add another section, I can just click on the plus button over here and I can drag different widgets. And I can also click on the plus button. So I'll show you again. We click plus, plus, and we can choose a structure. So say I want 2 widgets, I can just do it like that. And then I can go ahead and go into the different widgets and just add whatever widgets I want. So for example, if I wanted to add 2 different text, like testimonials, what I can just do is I can search for it to see if they have it, and they have testimonial. I can just add it here, and his tips are the best. John Doe, designer. I could even add a photo if I wanted to. So I can just choose that over here. And yeah, so it's very, very simple adding different widgets. And if you want to delete a section, you can also just click on the delete button over here. And if you want to move widgets around, you can also just drag them like so above and below the other widgets. So we're going to go ahead and start actually editing this site. So the first thing I want to edit over here is the main text. So we've already done that. Here I also want to add a photo. So I'm going to go ahead and go to image and drag it over here. And I am going to choose an image. And we're going to select the photographer that we have. And we're going to click on insert media. Now, if you've already uploaded before, you can also just add it straight from your media files. But that looks good to me. We're going to just see if a medium large looks better. Or a medium. No, I think we're going to go with medium large like so. That looks good. So once we have our main photo, we're also going to edit the background photo over here. And to do so, all we have to do is we can right click on the element and go to edit section. That's another way to access each container and each widget. And we're going to go ahead and just click on choose image. And we're going to set it to this image of the camera. And we're going to click insert media. And then we're going to do size. And we're going to do auto. And now it's going to cover the entirety of the background. I think that looks pretty good. I'm also not a huge fan of how the purple box looks now that the background is blue. So I'm just going to right click and go to edit column and then go into style and just go into color here and just make it maybe darker like so, but still have it be like slightly purple so it matches the logo. And that looks a lot better to me. So as you can see, it's very easy to customize things. All you have to do is edit each section individually, and you can also add your own widgets. So I'm also just going to go ahead and go over here and change the About Me picture. So I'm going to right click it, go to edit image, and here I can click on choose image. And instead, we're going to pick the image of the camera over here, and we're going to click insert media. And as you can see, that's been edited. We're not going to add any official text right now, but of course you can do that over here. We're also going to go ahead and we're going to just delete the experience meets expertise section. So all we have to do is click on the X button and it's gone. For the section over here, I think the skill set part looks good. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to change the actual skills that he has. So we're going to make them, photography. We're going to make it videography, and maybe we can do Photoshop. And then we're just going to delete this over here, like so. We're also going to delete this section over here because we don't need it. We're also going to add one more widget right in between the skill set and the contact. Of course, here you can also edit and add the relevant logos, but I'm not going to be covering that right now. I'm just showing you how to use everything. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a new section. Click plus, make sure the structure is 1. And here we're going to click the plus button and we're going to add a Google Maps. And of course, you can right click to edit it, or you can click on this edit button. And we're going to change the location to, Toronto. And maybe just make it, Toronto should be good. We'll zoom in a bit more like so. And of course, if you have your actual address, you can also add it, but this looks good to me. You also want to make sure all of the buttons are pointing to the right place. So for example, if you click on Learn More, it's taking us to the About page, which is over here. And if we go into Get in Touch, it's taking us to the Contact page, which is also perfect. So this looks good to me. I'm going to click on Update. So now we have our main page done, and we can apply these same, skills and edit all of the other pages as well. So for example, if we open About Me in a different tab, we can click on Edit with Elementor, and we can also edit everything here. So over here, we don't want to have these different logos because that's for a web developer. And we can also go ahead and do things such as edit this image by right-clicking on it. And once again, we can choose our photographer's image like so. We can make it, About Me. We can change View Portfolio. Maybe we want to make this a contact button. We can have it say, Get in Touch, or, Book Me. We can change the style. So the color is gray instead. And we can change the hover. Actually, the hover looks good at light gray. And then we can go back into content and make sure it leads to the right page. So instead, what we can do is we can go into link options, and we're just going to change the URL. So the URL for the contact page is right here. So we can just copy that, and then we can go ahead and paste it here, and we can click on Update. And now the Book Me should take us to the contact page. So if I go into About Me and I click on Book Me, it takes us to the Contact Me page. And for the rest of the About Me page, we can also just change things such as past experience and the projects. But once again, this is all based on how you want your site to look. So I'm going to do it very quickly for this guy. He's at projects, coffee, clients. This looks good. Past experience. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the icon library and just change the icons here because he was a photographer. So we can go ahead and go to the icon library, and I'm just going to look up camera over here, click Insert. This one, I'm also going to go into the icon library, and I'm going to change it to something else. Maybe search video and do that, click Insert. And then this one, I'm just going to go ahead and make it another video like so. Click Insert, so I can say, Studio A. I was a lead photographer, like so. And then let me just edit that. This can be, Studio B, and this can be Studio C. You get the idea, but the About Me page looks good. So we're once again going to click on Update. Now, you can also do the same thing for the portfolio page as well as the contact page. So you just go through it and you make sure that everything is the way you want it to be. So we're going to open it in a new tab. And this looks good, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and click on Edit one more time. Now, with the Contact Me page specifically, you want to go ahead and click on the form. And here you want to go into the form settings. And what you want to make sure to do is to actually just change the email that the form is being sent to. So I'm just going to put in my email like so, and then click on Update. And you can also edit the actual form itself if you want to. So to do that, you go into Fields, and of course you can add other items. But you want to just make sure that the forms are actually being sent to you, because that is something a lot of people gloss over. And the final page that we have left is the blog page over here. And that's because the blog page is customizable on its own. It's not a part of the Elementor, and you actually have to edit it through WordPress. So to edit the blog page, all you have to do is go into your website and go into the WP admin like so. And you want to go into the pages over here. So to add or edit a new page, all you want to do is go into the pages settings. And here we can see all of our different pages. So if we wanted to delete a page, we can just click on it and then go to bulk actions and then click move to trash. Now, if you want to add a new page, you can click on add new or plus new and then go to page. Now here, we're just going to create a title of a test page. And what you want to make sure is when you're creating your page that you have the default template set to Elementor full width if your website is full width, and canvas if it's canvas. And so we're going to make it full width, and then we're going to go ahead and click on publish and publish this page. And then if we go to click on view page, you can see that the page is actually blank, but then we can click on edit page and then go to edit with Elementor. And here we can edit the page just as we were editing the previous ones. This is a lot easier to do than making a page from scratch because all you have to do is drag all of the elements that you want to your new page. So that's how you manage pages. Now, if you've noticed, if we go back onto our website, we have the page made, but on our website, this test page isn't actually in our menu. And that's because menus are different from pages. So once you make a page, you still have to edit the menu. So to edit a menu, we have to go back into the dashboard. So we're just going to click on the logo. So once we're here, we're going to go into appearance. And this time we're going to go into menus. And as you can see, we have our main menu over here. Now, because this portfolio page has been deleted, it says it's invalid. And so I can just click on it and click remove. And here what you can do is you can choose a page, click add to menu, and it'll add the page to your menu. You can also move the different pages around like so. And you can create subpages by just dragging them. So once you hover over contact now, it'll give you the test option. But we don't want this, so we're going to remove it. And once this main menu is made the way you want it to be, you can also choose where you want to display it. So I'm also going to display this menu on the footer. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Menus. So to show you how a menu updates, we can go ahead and add back the test one, and we'll make it a submenu, and we'll click on Save Menu. And now if we go to our website, and we go into contact, we also have the test option over here, which is currently a blank page. But of course, we can edit it with Elementor. So for example, if I wanted to add, a map over here as well, I can just drag that here and a map will be added and we can update that. But that is how menus work. Now, the final thing we're going to be covering is blog posts. So over here, you can see if we go into the blog page, we have our blog and we have a bunch of blog posts. I'm going to be showing you how you can make these as you continue to, make actual blogs for your website. So all you want to do is go back into the dashboard. And now we can go into the posts section, which is at the top over here. And here you can see all of the blogs that they've already made. You can delete these, of course. So you can just, select one and then you can go to blog actions and move to trash. You can also delete all of them. I'm just going to delete the first one to show you how it's deleted. Now to create a new blog post, all you have to do is go to add new. And here you can type up your blog. So for example, I can do, blog title. And, this is the start of my blog. And then I can, add a new paragraph. So paragraph 2. And then I can go to save draft. So once you have your blog written, you can also go into post. And here what you want to do is you want to choose a category. So a category is, the type of blog so that your blogs are categorized. For example, photography tips versus videography tips. And you can add new categories here. So I can do, photography tips, add new category. And every time I make a photography blog, I can put it under photography tips. You can also add tags. So I could tag it with, photography and lighting, etc., and click on Save Draft. Now, you can also edit blog posts with Elementor, and all you have to do is click on Edit with Elementor, and it will change the editor like so. So as you can see, we have the exact same blog post over here. And once again, you can edit it the exact same way by just typing. And when you click on an element, it'll show up over here. And you can also change the advanced settings and the style. So it's the exact same, but you can use Elementor. And once you're done, you can click on publish. And then once you go into have a look, you can see your blog post. And of course, if we go into blogs, we can now see this new blog also show up. So that's how you create and manage your blog posts. But that's basically everything. Hopefully now you have a good understanding of how to use WordPress from start to finish. But But that's about it. If you guys did like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. My name is Ziovo, and I'm signing out.